Hi folks, Hank Pyro here in yet another QAnon related skepticism vids. Um, this one deals specifically with something that should be very easy to refute. That's the Erik Prince story. The Erik Prince story goes like this. In October 2016, leading up to the election, these hardened New York City detectives, these are grizzled veterans, discovered a tape belonging, I think it stems from the Wiener laptop. They discovered a video of Hillary and Uma, Hillary Clinton and Uma Abedin doing something terrible to a child, something horrendous, something awful. That it was so awful that it made these tough, grizzled, cynical veteran police officers, these detectives who've seen it all, it made them weep. It made them cry. Okay, off the bat, that should have set off some hokum alarms, if nothing else. The whole made for TV kind of pull at your heartstrings. These guys, these and those guys who've seen it all, who live on the street, who eat off the street. They've seen it all, they've done it all. They've experienced life's full range of feelings and nothing phases them. They wept. They wept. Well, if the hokum doesn't pile up a little too high for you, if the BS factor isn't already going off, the whole BS alarm, then I want to direct you to one, Jan Broenvand. And he wrote about folklore and about, he wrote The Vanishing Hitchhiker, The Choking Doberman, and I read 3 of his books ages ago. Jan Broenvand is now 85 years old, but he discusses folklorish stories, urban legends that are that there's a certain formula to them, and usually after you start reading these and getting exposed to them, you start recognizing when something is an urban legend. Why would this be an urban legend? Well, the formula is the friend of the friend. In this case, our friend being Erik Prince of Blackwater fame. Is it Blackwater? Um, and the friend of Erik Prince is going to forever be anonymous. We'll never know his name, his address, his badge number, his precinct number, because he does not exist. We're never going to hear about him. Now, let's think this through just for a minute. If we have skepticism about another aspect of Q-related material, let's have some skepticism here. Would a veteran, first of all, would they really be that moved to tears that nothing else has ever moved them to tears in their line of work, but this would move them to tears? It's got to be pretty bad. Pretty bad. And they're going to sit on that now, 2 years later. Think about that. 2 years later, these police are going to sit on this information. If that's the case, these hardened, gristled, veteran detectives are just as culpable as the perpetrators. They're every bit as guilty. What I can tell you about these urban legends is that the names and places will change. It's like Lincoln's axe, where the handle's been changed 3 times and the blade has been changed 2 times, but it's still Lincoln's axe. The story's going to change. A year from now, you'll hear that, Sarah Carter has a friend on the New York Police Department, a detective in the New York City Police Department. Or John Solomon has a friend on the New York City Police Department. Or Dan Bongino has a friend who's a detective on the New York City Police Department. Or maybe even Eric Trump has a friend on the New York City Police Department. Those characters change all the time, but the essence is always the same. This particular one, this particular urban legend, has taken on a slightly different turns that some YouTuber, videographer with a lot of views has stated that there's a motive for suppressing this awful truth about Hillary and Uma and the actions that the only actions that could ever bring New York City grizzled veteran, hardened New York City detectives to tears. And that is, they're afraid, get this, of blowback from the Erik Garner wrongful death controversy. Just to refresh your memory, in July of 2014, I believe, Erik Garner was selling loose cigarettes on the street, and the police apprehended him and inadvertently killed him. And it's very sad. It's very unfortunate. And the Miso-Kapnick Mafia has blood on their hands. This man should not have been arrested for selling loose cigarettes. It shouldn't have happened. It should not have happened. And all the anti-smoking people, there's blood on your hands, okay? But that's another story for another time. One of the YouTuber that I mentioned earlier, who's got a lot of views, the videographer, has stated that the reason why the friend of a friend, Erik Prince's detective, the anonymous detective who doesn't have a badge number, name, or address or precinct, that guy who was brought to tears by Hillary and Uma's depravity directed against a child, that person, the reason why he cannot come forward is he was afraid of blowback against the whole New York City Police Department by the Obama administration. Yes, they would have come down with a federal lawsuit with all the weight of the federal justice system right on the throat of the New York City Police Department, and officers would have gone to jail for the wrongful death of Erik Garner. Well, first of all, if they're afraid of the blowback from the Justice Department or anyone else, that they're so scared that they're going to sacrifice all of their integrity and suppress the story and let child whatever, it doesn't go into detail about what they did that was due to this child, but people who in some way violated a child, they're going to let them go free to prey upon other children. Think this one through, folks. Think this one through. And I've paged down whenever I've seen the whole this particular urban legend, the Erik Prince legend, and there doesn't seem to be any skepticism. There seems to be one commentator who says, hold on, folks. Let's think this one through. Friend of a friend, Jan Brunvand. We never learned this detective. And the only thing that's keeping him from coming forward now is the weight of the Obama Justice Department. If that had any credibility, let's be reminded that Obama's been out of office now for about 20 months, okay? So we do now have a different Justice Department, and it seems to me that we could go forward with some sort of prosecution. But that is the urban legends. Urban legends are more or less eternal. We'll be hearing this one again in the future. Just have your ears propped up. We kind of like some of these to go away, but they never do. They never do. We still have the stolen grandmother. The people go to on vacation in Mexico, and grandma dies while they're down there, so they stuff her in the camper, and then someone steals the camper. That whole thing, the stolen grandmother. we always have those things. They never go away. They never go away. But I wish this one about Erik Prince would go away. And if it doesn't, at least leave a little hello, YouTuber who's saying all this stuff. Just thought maybe you want to think this one through. Kind of polite criticism. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, roll the credits. Roll the credits.